It's been the rainiest spring in Colorado history, but we are going to be playing baseball again this evening here at Coors Field. Thankfully, the rain has gone away, and we can get after Game 2 with the St. Louis Cardinals and the Colorado Rockies. Jorge De La Rosa on the verge of tying Aaron Cook for the most wins in Rockies history, trying to maintain that wonderful dominance he has had in this ballpark. De La Rosa with 45 victories here at Coors Field, and there have been few, if any, around baseball who have dominated things on the mound as De La Rosa has. And when you look at the numbers, Jeff, of course the pitching here in this ballpark always has been a challenge, but not only to be on the cusp of tying the mark, but to do it by dominating here at home is pretty special.
Well, it is, and think about it for Jorge. He's, as you mentioned, he's 46-15. A win percentage is .754 at Coors Field, in a place that you're not supposed to be able to do that. I think that's the big thing. And Jorge, remember, he bounced around for a couple of organizations, whether he's going to be a starter, reliever, really never put his foot in the ground until he got here. And now he's figured out that I can pitch here. It's okay. I'm not going to be scared, and I'm going to go out and try to use this field to my advantage.
He's ready to go here this evening. He has had success against the Cardinals in this building and wants that to continue here against Mike Matheny's Redbirds after the Rockies won Game 1 of the set last night 11-3. He'd certainly take that same kind of support.
I think any starting pitcher would say, yeah, I'll do that. I shut him down in the first inning. Let my offense in the bottom half go out and throw up 5 runs. Makes it a much easier job.
Well, one of the guys he'll try and control, Colton Wong, who hit a home run last night off of David Hale, but otherwise very good performance by Mr. Hale. Let's take a look at Mike Matheny's batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Matt Carpenter, Johnny Peralta in the top 3. You see no Matt Holliday. We'll talk about that. Yadier Molina has had good success against De La Rosa, hitting out of the 5-hole. It'll be Grichuk, Jay, and Borges in the outfield tonight. No Holliday, no Hayward, and Michael Wacha very strong.
Well, and the numbers for Jorge De La Rosa, you see that ERA still pretty high, but that comes down to what happened in his first 4 starts. He was 0-2 at the .956 ERA, but his last 3 more Jorge-like. 3.06 ERA at 190 batting average against, 14 strikeouts in 17 2/3 innings. So you go back to spring training, dealing with the groin injury that he had, and coming out, maybe he wasn't quite ready or maybe favoring it, so his pitches weren't as exact as they needed to be. Now that's gone. He's still dealing with a little bit of a finger issue with the cut on the finger, but Jorge's figured out that I can deal with that, because my leg is my push-off leg, and the leg that really affects how I deliver the baseball.
Makes a significant difference. You're right about that, Jeff. He has had that cut on his finger, really kind of a blister that opens up periodically during his career, so much easier to deal with that. Just beautiful now. We did have a pretty good downpour about 40 minutes ago, but the field looks great. They had it covered before the rains came, so it didn't take that long to get everything prepped. De La Rosa's ready. Colton Wong ready. And one thing we have seen from this Cardinals team, they did it to David Hale last night. They've been pretty aggressive early in counts.
Well, if you think about their hitting coaches, John Mabry was very aggressive as a hitter, so he has that mentality. The best pitch you might get is the first one. Bill Miller was kind of that way as a switch hitter, so it fits into their philosophy.
Wong has been I don't want to say surprise, but his development has enabled Mike Matheny to put Carpenter in the 2-hole where he probably helps this lineup more.
Well, and to find a true leadoff hitter, but Wong has some pop. We saw it last night with the home run, but he's not just a slap guy. He's going up there to swing the bat and try to jump on you, make it 1-0.
7 home runs on the season, and the one last night that Jeff is referencing got to the facing of the second deck rather quickly.
It did. It was a changeup that after the game, David Hale said the 2 mistakes I made to the left-handers were changeups that were up. I didn't get them down.
1-2 from De La Rosa. Like a lot of good pitchers, Georgie's the type that sometimes that first inning, a feeling out process, trying to find his rhythm. Usually if he's sharp in the first inning, he's going to be sharp throughout.
Yeah, because the second time through the lineup, guys are only hitting 189 against him. It's the first inning that they're hitting 300. But we've seen pitchers throughout the history of the game come out in first inning, have trouble just finding the rhythm, finding the mound, different than it is in the bullpen. No matter how much they try to construct them the same. It's just a different feel.
Right, and it goes from guy to guy. So hard to figure why that is. Another 2-2. Got him. There's that changeup. Whether it's the cutter or the changeup, those are the tools that have made De La Rosa effective.
But just notice where the location is on the Subaru Supermo. It was the split finger change. It comes out of the hand looking like a fastball to the hitter. When he swings, then it dips down.
One lefty set down. The Cardinals have the 2 at the top, but they're gonna be there just about every day anyhow for Mike Matheny, especially this guy, Matt Carpenter. Will take a first pitch strike. I wouldn't want him for Nolan Arenado. I'd take Nolan, but if I could figure out a way to get this guy on my team too, I'd like that.
Well, and you know, he's a leading vote getter in the All-Star balloting now. But I agree with you. Nolan's our choice, and I think he should be the overall choice because he provides both offense and defense. But Matt Carpenter is a heck of a player. He's really turned himself into a player that is not only known in St. Louis, but industry-wide.
300 batting mark right now. Second on the team in RBIs to the on-deck hitter Peralta. 1 ball and 2 strikes. He was playing second base, and then when David Freese was traded to the Angels, they moved Carpenter to the spot they felt he'd be better served defensively, and also it was the coming of Colton Wong, who was their second baseman of the future and became second baseman of the present. Working with Michael McHenry tonight. De La Rosa gets number 2.
And that's a great sign for De La Rosa because we've seen him in a couple of his starts. He'll get ahead in the count 1-2, 0-2. But then next thing you know, it's 3-2, and he's not able to put him away. But these first 2 guys, he's put away with the split finger.
Defensively for the Rockies, Barnes, Blackman, Gonzalez in the outfield. Arenado, Tulowitzki, LeMahieu, Paulson. Then the regular lineup of late. Michael McHenry doing the action behind the plate. Nick Connolly be back for the day game tomorrow. Here's Johnny Peralta. And this should get Jorge out of the inning on 10, make it 11 pitches. That takes care of the Cardinals. Rockies looking for another big first inning here at Coors Field. Jorge De La Rosa. Now the Rockies lefty looking for his teammates to do what they did last night. Charlie Blackmon got things going, reaching on an error, and the rest of the offense followed. Here's the Rockies lineup brought to us by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. DJ LeMahieu's up to second in the National League now and hitting. Tulo, Cargo, Arenado all hot, and so was Ben Paulson last night with his first 3-hit game. Michael McHenry will do the catching tonight. Brandon Barnes was a big contributor as well, hitting in the 8th spot.
Going up against Michael Walker, big dude, 6'6", 210 pounds, 8-1. 8-1 on the season. Those 8 wins are tied with Bartolo Colon for second most in the National League, and especially good out on the road. 6-0 with a 1.59 ERA. As you think back to last year for Walker, he was 2-6 with a 4 ERA.
Yeah, he's a guy that the Cardinals expected to keep improving this year. 1-2 the count on Blackmon now, but almost as if he just said when Adam Wainwright went down that, hey, I'll be the lead horse.
Well, and that's what you want, somebody to pick up the slack, because Wainwright went down on April 25th. Since then, they're 26-16.
That's the remarkable thing about this Cardinals team with Matt Holliday going on the DL now. They've had 4 significant injuries. Blackmon was jammed on that pitch, and Reynolds will get him. That's the impressive thing to me about Michael Walker. You saw the strikeout total, 47, not bad, but nothing that makes you open your eyes wide. He just gets outs.
And that's what the good pitchers, the guys that are going to rack up wins, will do. This guy was drafted in the first round, 19th pick overall out of Texas A&M University, and made it to the big leagues at the end of his second year in pro ball. So that tells you he's got something besides just a lively arm. He's got something that you can't measure underneath the jersey, and that's called that big heart.
First pitch strike into DJ LeMahieu. DJ with another solid night last night. 3 more hits and 3 RBIs. Thing about DJ, last year a career high in ribbies. He might reach that by the All-Star break this year. Just 14 away. And another hit. As good as Grichuk is going to be, the Cardinals people tell us, he's still learning at times the jump on a baseball.
Take some more years and experience.
Defensively for the Cardinals, without Matt Holliday, Jays in left and Borges in center. Haywood not in there with the lefty on the mound. The infield the same as they've had since the loss of Matt Adams at first base, and anchoring it all, the guy behind the plate, Yadier Molina. Rockies have the first base runner of the night. And Tulo looks at ball 1. Boy, what a run Troy is on. 12 for 25 on the homestand. 3 homers and 12 RBIs.
Well, and think about this. He only had 2 home runs in the first 21 games prior to this homestand.
Take a look at some of what Troy has been doing on this sequence. And how about that? Just one of those 2 homers you were talking about happened here.
Right. But now Troy, and last night there was none bigger than this first inning home run. He took that hanging slider from John Lackey and put it in the seats. Just kind of get that emotion going in the dugout.
2-1 now on Troy. The thing I liked about that home run last night, it wasn't hit that high. So Matt Holliday took a step like, well, what kind of play might I have? And then said, no, I got no play.
Those are the ones that take off about 10 feet high and then just keep rising over the head, where the outfielders say, I got it. No, I don't.
This should get back into the crowd. It does. 2-2. You caught that quick glimpse of Matt Holliday. They say it is a grade 2 strain of his right quadriceps. It is not as bad as the one that Matt Adams endured, or endured,
yes.
you know, in any event, he needed surgery. Matt doesn't, but it's probably going to be more than the 2 weeks of a 15-day DL.
Well, Matt Adams had to have surgery, and he's about 4 months, probably the rest of the season.
Tulo takes it the opposite way. LeMahieu heading for 3, and he'll get there. I just like, of late, the approach of the Rockies offensively. Obviously, Jeff, it's all keyed by Troy and Cargo in the middle.
It is.
But those guys, not only their power, here's Troy going the opposite way. We've seen Carlos start to do it more, and it becomes infectious.
You have to hit the ball the other way. If you think about every time I go up there, I'm going to pull a home run, you're so easy to pitch to. You can throw sliders away. You can throw fastballs away. That was a slider that he took to the opposite field. Last night, they hung the slider. He pulled it to left field. But if you're not looking to drive it that way, you're not going to be able to do it. That's an easy rollover ground ball double play.
Carlos Gonzalez now. Well, you'd love to see them jump again on these Cardinals in the early going, because while they are high in baseball and comeback wins, with some of their missing pieces on offense, it's more of a challenge for them if they get in a hole of more than a couple of runs.
Well, and they're also 26-4 when they score first. So you jump on them, they can't do some of the things that they like to do. And they don't have that big strike, the 3 runs here, the 4 runs there. They're more methodical the way they approach it offensively.
I loved Walt Weiss yesterday, said they don't do anything great other than winning and pitching.
With pretty good ingredients.
Yep. Waka, being cautious, falls behind in the count to Carlos like he did with Tulo. June has always been a good month for Cargo, hitting up around 300, and so far in this June hitting over 400. Got challenged there, and Waka got it by him.
Well, Michael Waka does like his fastball. It'll average 94 to 96 miles an hour, and he creates a big downward plane. Being as tall as he is, goes about 55% of the time, but it's kind of more of a higher 3/4, and it's coming at really a down angle going to the hitter.
Got Carlos to chase, and that's a big second out.
And that was a changeup he turned over. Look at it out of the hand on the Subaru Super Mode. Just a straight circle change. We'll turn that wrist over, put it back behind on the palm, and then throw it. Fastball 55% of the time. Cutter, changeup, and then his curveball. His off-speed pitches are tough for hitters to hit. The curveball hitting 143 against that.
Well, you don't get to 8-1 like he is right now with an ERA at 2.15 without having the ability to get out of trouble.
Well, he learned that, I'm sure, from Adam Wainwright. Because Wainwright's one of the best pitchers doing that.
Nolan Arenado had just 1 hit last night, but it was a biggie. Home run number 14. 45 RBIs now, and almost quietly, for the rest of baseball anyway, Nolan's in the top 5 in RBIs. But this won't happen this time as Peralta gets it to Wong, and Waka works out of trouble. 1 inning done, no score here at Coors Field.
low-score Rocks and the Cardinals. I want to get you up to speed on a roster move that happened today. You may not have heard about it. Saw Kyle Parker taking ground balls at first base. And yes, Kyle Parker is up. And Eddie Butler is going to go back down to AAA and kind of work on his game. Walt Weiss said that, you know, Eddie's got a big arm. He likes what he's done, but he needs him to tighten things up, especially when it comes from velocity from his fastball to his off-speed stuff. As for Kyle Parker, he's hit his way up here, guys. Since the last 13 games, hitting over 415 RBIs for the Isotopes. So that's the move they made today, and we'll see how long Butler is down.
All right, Mark, thanks. And it really gives Walt just that much more flexibility because of Kyle's ability to play first base as well as the outfield.
And you also have a right-handed bat on the bench that has some power. You're not afraid to do a double switch. I mean, when your two other guys are, one's your backup catcher, and then Willeen is also a power threat. So it gives you two options.
Mark Reynolds, the veteran, playing most of the time at first base now for the Cardinals while Matt Adams is out. And as Jeff said last inning, it could be the rest of the season for Adams. Some people speculate that the Cardinals might make a move as they get closer to the trade deadline if they know Adams is not going to come back.
Well, you and I were in Philadelphia about 10 days ago, and Ryan Howard was the big name being thrown out there because he's from the St. Louis area. But the question with Ryan Howard becomes, he still has a couple years left on his deal. So do you rent him for 2 or 3 months, and then what do you do with him after that?
Yeah, there's no doubt that they like Matt Adams as their guy overall. And Mark Reynolds on 5 pitches does something he doesn't do all that often, draw a walk. First base runner for the Cardinals. Last night, a big blow for St. Louis.
Well, and Matt's coming in, you see him stumble, and not sure if it happened before that stumble or that's what caused the stumble. In any event, the right quad has that strain, as you said, a grade 2. It's the first time on the DL since July of 2013 for Matt. It's just unfortunate to see some of those guys. You know, you never like to see anybody get injured. And this is what they decided to do. Call up the right-hander Miguel Sokolovich, the second time he has been up from the Memphis Redbirds.
But you take not only a leader in the clubhouse and on the field, but a big clutch performer out of the middle of this St. Louis lineup. 1-1 on Molina. It puts more pressure on Reynolds and Molina, who had been extending the lineup, lengthening the lineup. Now they have to be the guys where the opposition's going to put a little more focus on them.
Yeah, and that will make Mike Matheny's job tougher, because then he'll have to decide, do I want to let some of these guys just swing away, or am I going to have to play a different style? Bunt and run, hit and run more than you would like to. Mike's not a big guy. I mean, Mike doesn't give out a whole lot of outs. He doesn't like to bunt much, but he might have to now because you don't have those big thumpers in there.
And you add the fact that Hayward's not playing all that well right now, a guy they were hoping to have a good year from offensively. We talked about it a little bit on the radio side last night. Perhaps you and Jerry did as well, Jeff. The Cardinals, we talk about the guys hurt. Don't forget Oscar Taveras, who was tragically killed in the automobile accident last fall.
He was supposed to be that guy, and now it's almost like a revolving door in right field. All the guys they've had there since 2010. I mean, you're talking about Ryan Ludwig, and the list goes on and on. This is like their 5th or 6th right fielder that they've gone through in the last 5 years.
And quite honestly, they wouldn't have traded for Hayward if Taveras was around. So
that was a tragedy.
Taveras, I always would. Taveras, you know, Taveras. Good block by McHenry, and I think as Jeff pointed out, this Cardinals team, they grind it anyway. Even though they'll be aggressive if you give them a pitch to hit, they get to 2 strikes, and some of these veteran guys, especially one like Molina, they're going to challenge you to make your pitches. Like that. De La Rosa gets his 3rd strikeout.
And all 3 strikeouts have been on the split finger. Now that one did not go down like the other ones. He wanted more action, but that had the cut feel to it. I just like this from the Subaru Supermo, to see how that ball just comes out in between those fingers. He splits it so wide and then just throws it and lets the action of the baseball come through.
Randall Grichuk line in left field, and he didn't hold up. No question about that, said Tim Timmons, the home plate umpire. One on, one out. Rockies threatened in the first, but couldn't score against Waka. This will be trouble on the Fister, but Nolan says no, it won't. Has a chance for 2. Not quite. He is something special.
That's why he wears a gold glove. It's going back, catching this like a wide receiver would on a pass pattern, going down into the corner where he has to look over his shoulder. Nolan's looking on. The hardest part about this is making sure you reach out far enough. The tendency as an infielder is to shorten your arms because you don't think it's going to be that far away from your body.
I tell the same thing to receivers. You can't gator arm it. You got to go and get it.
Yeah.
You got to go and get it.
I know, but your mind's telling you I can't.
2 outs for John Jay. The future Hall of Famer and the multi-Gold Glove winner Omar Vizquel told me that on those kinds of plays, he preferred to turn his back to the plate.
I've seen Omar do that on a sunny day.
Especially on a sunny day. Reynolds going, and he's in there. Second time for him to steal a base in 3 tries. Pitch was a strike.
And this is a guess. As soon as the foot comes up, he takes off. And this goes back to what I said earlier in this half inning about Mike Matheny having to create more than he would. You wouldn't think Mark Reynolds would be a guy that, say, give him the light to go. But he did to try to get him into scoring position.
Two balls and a strike on John Jay. Maybe even more so because Jay left on left, not overwhelming numbers, more of a leadoff type hitter at times in his career. So if Reynolds does get thrown out, you start the third with a couple of speedy guys in Jay and Borges.
Yeah, and for Jay, he's not much of a guy to drive in a lot of runs. 4 for 29, 138 with runners in scoring position. He's got to throw him something closer to the zone to get him to bite.
He's laid off a couple of cutters from De La Rosa that, as Jeff just described, you've got to be close enough, and those were the kind quickly out of the hand, you know, as a hitter, not to chase. This will be an easy play for Ben Paulson, and the walk does no damage. Jorge De La Rosa looking sharp so far. Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by your hometown Toyota stores. Let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Our 10th rain delay of the season here at Coors Field, but delightful now as the Rockies go to work in the bottom of the second inning against Michael Wacha, who worked out of a first and third one-out jam. That's that changeup again, and a dandy to Ben Paulson.
The same arm action as the fastball. That's why it's a dandy.
And you just nibble a little wider with the fastball. Must be such a joy as a pitcher to work with Yadi Molina.
Just because the way he sits back there. For Yadi, he leads Major League catchers with a 2.59 ERA and 456 innings caught.
Gets him up and in with a fastball. Wacha gets his second. They've both been left-handed batters, Gonzalez and Paulson. Rockies fans, you can join the conversation. Send us your thoughts, photos via Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook using the hashtag ToyotaTalk. We'll show some of your Toyota Talk comments throughout the ball game. Michael McHenry doing yeoman's work as the Rockies' second catcher, not only in terms of the work behind the plate, but he's been swinging a pretty good stick.
Last 10 games, 370, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs.
0-2 on good action from Wacha. Walt Weiss says the thing you like about both McHenry and Nick Hundley, a servant mentality, that they're going to take care of the pitcher and everything else is a bonus. And if you're Yadi or Molina working with a pitcher like Michael Wacha, you feel pretty good about that too.
Well, and Michael gets the ball and he goes. There's no waiting around. There's no extra seconds that are get your infielders, outfielders on their heels. I mean, he's already got the baseball. He's just about ready to step on the hill and say, let's go.
Got his brother Lucas somewhere in the crowd tonight, linebacker for the University of Wyoming. Bunt try by Barnes.
Starter since he stepped on campus.
Yep.
It was a couple years ago when Michael was pitching here at Coors Field back in 2013. His parents were here watching him pitch, and then a couple days later they were watching Lucas start a game up in Laramie.
Playing for the Cowboys, Jeff's alma mater. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brandon Barnes. Rockies are 10-5 when the Barnyard's in the starting lineup.
You can see why. The energy he brings.
Big hop for Peralta, and Wacha has a very economical second inning. We thought it'd be a duel of aces. So far, that's the story. Pitching, at least from a young giant, was special tonight in New York.
Got him. And Chris Heston here in New York City has thrown a no-hitter.
How about Chris Heston? What a find he has been for the Giants this year. It is the 5th no-hitter by the Giants since 2009. There have only been 25 individually in baseball, and they have most of them.
Well, and one of them was a perfect game by Matt Cain.
First no-no by a rookie. That's Clay Buchholz back in 2007, I believe.
Yes, and Lincecum also has 2 of those
Right.
5 no-hitters.
Peter Borges in the starting lineup tonight with the lefty on the mound and the injury to Matt Holliday. Charlie Blackmon will get to this one without any problem. That's that cutter again. Boy, I tell you, when he's locating that well, Jeff, a lot of right-handed hitters feeling that ball down around the trademark, aren't they?
And that's not good, no matter how warm or how cold it is. It's worse when it's cold, but if it's a little warmer like it is tonight at 73 degrees, it still stings the thumbs.
Michael Wacha, 3 hits on the season, but he's knocked in 3 runs. De La Rosa allowed a leadoff walk to Mark Reynolds last inning. That's been the only base runner against Jorge so far. What has been, you can see him snap at the ball. It's been an interesting phenomenon this year for Jorge. He's had more trouble pitching to his opposite number.
It happened in his last start against the Dodgers. Ran into some trouble, walked the pitcher, and then walked a couple guys after that. Seemed to get flustered and frustrated by it.
2 balls and a strike now with Wacha. I feel this year too, maybe not so much that first start or 2, Jeff, when he probably was pitching before he was ready to. I've liked the tempo of De La Rosa this year. I think it's a little quicker.
Because of the clock they have going. I think that has helped his tempo, knowing in the back of his mind, I need to get the baseball and go.
This one in about the same spot. Charlie has to move just a couple of feet as Blackmon records his second putout. And first time through the lineup for the Rockies lefty. Very nicely done.
4 fly outs, couple ground ball outs, 3 punch outs.
How about that little note there on the Toyota Talk? The last rookie to throw a no-no, Christy Mathewson. Wow. Except he wasn't a rookie in 1912, so I'm not sure on that. Dribbler, you got to hurry with Wong, but no problem. De La Rosa, not only effective, but economical. 37 pitches in the first 3 innings. Who wants tacos? Well, if the Rockies score 7 or more runs, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 p.m. There you can get your Rockies taco special. Live Mas at Taco Bell. Jorge De La Rosa will lead things off for the Rockies against Michael Wacha, who after back-to-back singles to LeMahieu and Tulowitzki in the first inning has retired 5 straight. Tim Timmons said that found the zone. De La Rosa 2 for 12 on the year, 132 in his career. Had a pretty good hack at that one, but he's down 2 strikes.
One of those 2 hits was against Clayton Kershaw when he had the single up the middle to drive in a couple runs.
He does have the 2 ribbies, you're right. Wacha this year, as Jeff pointed out earlier, has been really good on the road. 6-0 with a 1.59 ERA. De La Rosa hit it hard, but right at the left fielder, and John Jay makes the play.
Fans Movie Night is back on Sunday, July 12th. All fans are invited to stay and watch the Rookie following the game against the Atlanta Braves. Purchase the Movie Night ticket package to access the field for the movie and receive a special blanket. The Rookie.
I was actually doing an Indians-Texas Rangers game when they filmed Dennis Quaid coming in from the bullpen with the crowd there at the ballpark at Arlington. In between, they did it for the 7th inning stretch, so they'd have a live feel for it. 1 ball, 1 strike on Blackman. Charlie grounded out to first his initial at bat.
It was part of a scene against Angels in the outfield.
Jay fighting the lights a little bit, makes the grab. 2 up, 2 down.
But the same kind of thing where they're filming the game and then also a scene or 2 in between innings and before the game to make it look like it's a real shot.
The guy who impressed me was the guy. He had the Steadicam apparatus, but Dennis Quaid's jogging in from the bullpen, and this guy is running backwards, filming it while he's going. LeMahieu singled to right field his first time up. Picks the batting average up a little bit higher to 345.
In any event, a pretty neat story and a nice chance to come watch that movie here at Coors Field.
Yeah, those kinds of stories. The Kevin Costner McFarlane film about the cross-country team. DJ again going to right field, and Grichuk's going to again play it on the bounce.
Randall went back on this ball. His route was to start circling back towards the gap, and now that makes DJ the major league leader in opposite field hits with 30. He overtook D. Gordon, who had 29. Inside out swing. Randall just pulls up, catches it on the bounce. And a ho hum, another 2 hits already for DJ.
69 hits on the season for DJ now. Tulo went to right field for his hit, and he was trying to get home run number 8 there. Might have gotten out of the zone with that hack.
It's a lot of oohs and ahs, though.
Wacha pretty stingy in terms of allowing home runs, 5 on the year, but that covers 73 innings.
Only 1 by a right-handed batter. The other 4 obviously are the lefties. Lefties are hitting .201 against Wacha. Right-handers .228. So the opponent's batting average .215. That's tied for 7th in the National League. Is hardest to hit against.
has a pitcher's park at Busch Stadium, but nonetheless, this is a guy who knows his craft at a young age.
Doesn't turn 24 until July 1st.
And as you pointed out earlier, Jeff, I mean, he was a first-round pick, but number 19 in that first round 2 years ago.
Came from a pretty big school baseball-wise, Texas A&M. By the way, lost a heartbreaker in 16 innings to TCU last night. I finally had to turn it off in the 15th. Say, I'm going to bed.
That's what computers are for. Get the story the next day.
And that's how I found out that TCU won, and they're going to the College World Series this morning.
Tulo extended his hit streak to 9 with the first inning single. He swings and misses at that changeup. Wow. We've played 3. No score here at Coors Field on a night for pitching.
And you guys were talking about Lucas Waka, the Wyoming Cowboys linebacker. And guys, we have found him here in the stands. How cool is it to watch your brother pitch at Coors Field? I know you've done it before.
Yeah, you know, it's great. It's good to be able to watch him play. You know, I don't get to watch him much, being up in Wyoming all summer and all year. I went and watched him in Kansas City a couple weeks ago, and he had a great outing. So hopefully I bring him a little bit of luck, and he has another good outing tonight.
Well, he's 8-1, and I know his ERA was 2.13 coming in. So.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely having a great year. You know, he's put in that work to have that good of a year. So hopefully he stays healthy and he can keep doing what he's doing.
As you watch him from this vantage point, and I know you caught him and grew up with him and all that until you couldn't catch him. I think that's what you told me. Can you tell what kind of stuff he's got going on throwing?
Oh, yeah. It's being up here actually from these seats is actually good. You get to see the changeup, and his cutter's working good tonight, and he's bringing that fastball up around 96, 97. I've been looking up there. But, you know, his ball looks like he has a bunch of movement on it tonight, and it's working so far. Last time you were here, I think it was 2013. Wasn't that your freshman year, and then he was going to the postseason? Oh, yeah.
Your mom and dad were trying to figure it all out?
Oh, yeah, they were. That was when they were playing Boston. It was the sixth game of the series, and we had a bye week that week. So I took I asked Coach Christian. Coach Christian was our coach at that time, and I asked him if I could go to the game. And he was a big Cardinals fan, so he was like, "Man, I wouldn't miss it if I were you." So I got on the trip and got to go to the game. It was awesome.
Coach Bowl now with the Wyoming Cowboys. Who do you got here to your right?
I got Malcolm Muhammad, my roommate, another linebacker. Troy Boylan, offensive lineman, and Siyosi Haliapi, defensive end.
And behind you, are they Wyo?
Oh, a girlfriend right here, Sam Staccato, cousin, friend, and dad down there. So
this is about as good a time for me to welcome all the Charter Communications viewers watching up in Laramie and watching Rockies baseball and getting ready for Wyoming football. We will have some games on the air. You pretty excited about Cowboys football?
Oh, I'm stoked. This year's going to be a great year for Wyoming football. So everybody look out and watch the Wyoming Cowboys come through.
Tell me why, because Craig Bowl will have another year under his belt and the staff?
Yeah, we're all familiar with the defense. This is the first year, actually, we've had a defense that we've ran for more than 1 year. So being on the defensive side, it helps a lot. So, and Craig Bowl, he's a great coach and great leader. And he has good coaches around him also that make good decisions and lets us play as fast as we can.
Jack and Jeff are up in the booth. Jeff is Jeff Hewson, who is going into the Wyoming Sports Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Coming up before, I think, maybe your first game of the year, because he played in the big leagues. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Congrats to that. And, being in the Hall of Fame anywhere is a great honor, and congrats to that.
He's fired up.
I know. Tell him I want to see him in that brown and gold, though. I like that a little bit better.
He likes you in brown and gold as opposed to, that Cardinals jersey.
Hopefully you break up this no-no this guy has going on. I know you're not supposed to say that, but I guess if you're on the opposing side, then you can say a little bit of that.
Tell him I'll be up there for the first game against North Dakota.
Huey will be up there for the first game against North Dakota. And great to talk to you. I know that your brother's having a good year. Let's hope that falls over to the football season. We will see you sooner rather than later.
Exactly. Sounds good to me.
Thanks, Lucas.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Mark. Very well-spoken, grounded young man. The Waka parents did a good job with both their young men.
Texarkana, Texas.
One strike on Mark Reynolds with 2 outs here in the 4th. He is the only man so far to reach base against Jorge De La Rosa. After a 5-pitch walk first time up, he's in the hole, 2 strikes. The University of Virginia product is Mark Reynolds. It's a great honor for you, Jeff.
Thank you.
We're all very proud of you.
Thank you. I'm very honored to go into the Hall of Fame. I think that's one of the highlights of my career.
Well, just what Lucas Waka said. You get into any Hall of Fame, that's a great accomplishment. Didn't get him to nibble. I'd say one thing with Mark Reynolds and just the limited doses we've seen. I mean, he's always had a lot of strikeouts in his career. Seems to be a little more selective this year.
Well, he set a major league record 2009 with 223 strikeouts. That's hard to do. I mean, it's hard to get 223 strikeouts, but to be in the lineup that many times.
Yep. That meant you were doing enough other things to warrant staying in there. You're right.
He's also 4th all-time in 2010, 6th all-time in 2008. So his name's at the top of a lot of strikeout lists.
He's worked the count full. And walks for the 2nd straight time.
And he's probably the last guy I would have thought of to have 2 walks in his first 2 at-bats.
Yeah, and
I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just a free swinger.
Right, and nothing in the De La Rosa history. Reynolds came in 3 for 19 against Georgie, so nothing in the history that would say, man, I've got to be extra cautious with this guy. But it extends the inning for Molina. He struck out on the De La Rosa changeup his first time up. Both pitchers have 4 strikeouts on the night. You always look for a barometer, the sign line, the body language with De La Rosa. Jorge obviously so much better at controlling it than in his early days, and he says that was part of the turnaround. But a little bit like the little red button that pops up on the Butterball turkey when Georgie starts fooling around with his hat a lot. He's a little bit perturbed. Nolan on the backhand. Plenty of time with Molina running it. Got him. He made a unbelievable play on a foul ball. This one fair, same result. Still scoreless here in Denver. Brought to you by the all-new Ford Focus. Big MPGs and fun to drive. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And what we hope is next is the Rockies cracking through here on a great pitcher's duel. Michael Wacha has given up 3 singles, 2 to DJ LeMahieu and 1 to Troy Tulowitzki. Gets Carlos Gonzalez to start the 4th. Struck out Cargo first time up on a changeup.
This is the rare time we've seen the Cardinals put a shift on.
And Cargo trying to bunt against it, but got underneath the fastball and fouled it.
Those are frustrating. You just want to hit that bat over your shin because you know you had everything planned. Everything was working in your favor. All you had to do was just bunt it hard towards third base.
Visited in the Marlins clubhouse over the weekend with Brett Butler, one of the great bunters of all time, and I asked him what made him such a great bunter. He said he learned it from Rod Carew. 1-2 now on Cargo. What do you think the great Rodney told him?
Probably bunt before running.
See it on the ground.
Okay.
Same thing.
Same exact thing. Don't get in a hurry to get out of the box.
Foul tip held on to by Molina, and that's another strikeout for Wacha.
Vote now for your Rockies All-Stars on your computer, tablet, or smartphone on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot exclusively at Rockies.com. I had Rod Carew as my hitting coach with the Angels, and oh boy, did I learn so much from him about hitting.
What a joy that was.
Oh, every day, every plane flight, be playing some cards with him. We'd break into hitting.
One and one on Arenado. Nolan grounded to an inning-ending fielder's choice to short his first time up back in the first inning. 1-2.
I think Lucas Wacha had his brother pegged pretty well with the fastball. He's showing 94 to 96, sometimes 97. Really good movement on his changeup. He'll cut the fastball. Imagine some of their wiffle ball games in the backyard. Okay, I'll pitch to you. That's not fair.
I understand they have some new wiffle balls now, a little different than the ones we had growing up. That fewer holes, but I don't know. This finds the hole for a base hit to center. I'm sure somebody will tweet into us or whatever. I know because I was talking to Brandon Barnes about it, because he has that wiffle ball tournament to raise money for cancer research, and he was talking about a different kind of ball, and I said, it's a wiffle ball.
There's only one. I thought. Those were fun games. You just grab some of the neighborhood kids and you go out and play and make up your own rules. And, you know, if you hit it over the house, that wasn't a home run because you had to go in the backyard to get it. It was just double or an out.
That's when I started broadcasting. Believe it or not.
Wiffle ball games.
Yeah, I lived on a cul-de-sac, big circle at the one end. We were the second family to move in a new development. There was a young man, Joe Carino, a year older than me, and he liked the Tigers, I liked the Indians, so we played this wiffle ball game. You'd hit the ball out of your hand and the other guy'd be playing defense, and so whoever was batting got to do the play-by-play. I was 10 years old, and that's where it started. See, nobody stopped me, and now I'm still here. One strike to count on Ben Paulson. There's that velocity that Jeff has been talking about, sitting at 94 and 96 at times, and not in the same spot.
Right, but he's not afraid to pitch up in the zone. We talk about it so much. You need to pitch down in the zone, but you can pitch up effectively as well. Yeah, you just keep changing the eye level of the hitter. He doesn't know what's coming.
Come on, in that 1 second you have to think about it.
Or the blink of an eye, however you want to look at it. It's funny, Ellis Burks and I were talking about that. Ellis comes around quite often to the club. He's in spring training. He's with the Rockies now. And Ellis and I were talking about just how hard the game is. And, you know, the major leaguers make it look easy at times, and we slow it down on our super mo. But when you're standing in that box and you swing at pitches that you know you shouldn't have, but you had to make a quick decision.
One and two on Ben Paulson. Jerry Schemmel and I visit classrooms each spring and talk about math and baseball with 4th and 5th graders. And I talked to him. I said, well, if you had a test and there were 10 answers and you only got 3 of them right, what do you think you'd get? And, you know, the kids go F or D. And I say, well, for a baseball player, if he has 10 opportunities and gets 3 hits, what do you think he gets? And the kids, you know, say the same thing again, a lot of them. I put an S on the board and they look at me funny, and then I put 2 vertical lines through the S and I say, that's what you get if you're 3 for 10 all the time.
I thought you were going to say a plaque, kind of the Hall of Fame.
Well, that if you do it long enough. He gets Paulson on the changeup. Strikeout number 6. He has gotten Gonzalez and Paulson both times at bats with just some nasty stuff.
Well, the difference for Michael Wacha compared to the first inning to these last 3 innings. First inning, he was 1 for 5 in first pitch strikes. Since then, 10 for 10.
And 11 for 15 overall. That's how you put the hitter at a disadvantage, no doubt. McHenry, a strikeout victim, his first time up. The only hits in the game, 4 singles by the Rockies. They had back-to-back singles from DJ and Tulo in the first, but Walker came back to get out of it. There's the rare curveball. I haven't seen that much tonight. No problem. Let me just drop it in the zone. The
first pitch, get me over curveball is one of the most effective pitches to a hitter. You're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna sit on that. No, I'm gonna sit on the fastball.
Fisted towards Wong, and that will take care of the Rockies in the fourth. The pitchers are still dominating. More to come from Coors Field. It's been a game dominated by the two guys on the bump. Look at those numbers. 4 singles off of Waka, but he has 6 strikeouts. The only 2 base runners against Jorge De La Rosa, the same guy. He's walked Mark Reynolds twice. Economy of pitches, especially for De La Rosa, just 53 through the first 4. You'll get the 3 outfielders for the Cardinals batting in a row. I have to talk to Mike Matheny. He had to hit Borges 7th. You either go right, center, left, or left, center, right. You can't go right, left, center.
Now that doesn't flow off the tongue as well.
Great catch on a ball down the third baseline into short left field by Nolan Arenado, but this time Grichuk gets a first pitch that he likes and gets the first hit of the night for St. Louis.
Seeing eye ground ball. Pulls a ball that is away from him in the hole. Break up the no-hitter. Clean single.
Was that a change or a breaking ball that just was somewhat flat?
Yeah, something off speed because it was 82 miles an hour. Tough to tell. Probably the split finger.
John Jay grounded out to Ben Paulson his first time up. The kind of night when you might look for the Cardinals to play small ball, although as Jeff pointed out earlier, it's not really Mike Matheny's style. Ow.
Chris Maloney.
I think he didn't think it was hit as hard as it was.
I've seen some first and third base coaches not even attempt to field the foul ball. It's one, you're not sure exactly how hard it's hit. 2, if you miss it, everybody laughs at you.
And the ball skips away and enables the Cardinals to really change their approach now. Wild pitch puts Grichuk in scoring position.
As far as this was in the other batter's box, just to get a glove on it was quite an accomplishment.
Second time in the ball game the Cardinals have had a man in scoring position after Reynolds stole a base when he walked back in the second inning. 2-2 now on Jay. Rockies with just 2 chances to hit in the clutch. That came in the first inning.
I think the split finger or a slider is a good pitch because Jay's looking to something to pull to the right side.
Tulo has the runner caught between second and third.
All the way back.
Now no place for Grichuk to go, and De La Rosa finishes off the play.
I was saying run him all the way back towards second base because that's where you want to tag him out closer to second and not allow John Jay to move into scoring position. But the right throw from Troy, right decision, just poor base running decision by Grichuk. Ball's in front of you, you don't go, you throw it. Now Nolan, get the ball out of your glove, keep running him back, keep going back closer towards second base. They did get the out. Get the out and the runners at second base, but you're working at the bottom part of the lineup.
6-5-4-1 on the fielder's choice. And now it's the number 8 hitter.
And this takes the bunt out of play for Borges. Borges is a good bunter, but if Jay had moved the runner to third base, then you'd have to worry about a bunt. Not now.
Fly ball to center field, first time up for Borges. Nice change of pace there by De La Rosa. 1-1.
Borges 1 for 6 career against Jorge.
Former Angel came over to St. Louis as part of the David Freese trade.
His dad Chris, a longtime Major League scout.
You can hear Chris Maloney, the first base coach, screaming back as Jay had gotten off to a pretty decent advantage, and LeMahieu shaded up the middle, chased him back. Ground ball finds center field, and John Jay will score the first run of the game. Peter Borges gets just his 7th RBI. But the Cardinals 26-4 when they score first have taken the initial lead.
This is where you would hope that rundown you had didn't allow Jay to get into scoring position. DJ flashing the hand like he wants to pick off at second base. Now Jorge, most of the time pitchers are taught if you see that infielder flash his hand to go, step off even if you don't want to throw. Wouldn't have mattered for DJ because he was getting back into position, but it's just that mindset.
Now Waka will show bunt, but first they're going to keep an eye on Borges. He will run a little bit. 4 steals. He's been caught 5 times. There he goes. Throw to second and got it. Michael McHenry's throw was high, but it had enough giddy up to get Borges.
You know it has to be a good throw on the money because Borges has some wheels. Tags him on the right forearm on the Subaru Supermo. Excuse me, on the right rib. Just looking at from our angle, looked like the forearm.
Walker, with the bases empty now, will swing away. You are in the kind of game tonight, Jeff, when you're a player like this and you know both guys are going well, do you think about that initial run scoring going, it's going to be tough tonight.
You do, because you know it's going to be a 2-1 type of game. You can't give up extra outs. You can't allow a 2-run inning to happen, a 3-run. But on the flip side, if you're down just 1-0, you say, okay, we get a guy on, then we figure out a way to get that run in to tie it up.
And obviously, in those circumstances, you much prefer to be the home team.
Yes, those extra. So you know what you're playing against. You know what you have to do in order to win the game.
De La Rosa trying to end this 5th. Walker's going to make him throw a couple of more pitches. Rockies, of course, still trying to get above break even here at home. Weather, schedule, and other things have factored in. Walker's run the count full. Not the worst thing. Make him go out there on a bases for a batter or so. No, I don't think he wants that.
You know what? I think Jorge might have hurt his left groin again, because not prior to that pitch, after the foul ball to Walker, he shakes his leg out. So just watch for a moment. Okay, see that little gimp?
Yeah.
Starts shaking the leg right here when he gets back on the mound.
As Scott Garrett, one of the Rockies trainers, came to the mound, he was shaking his head. I don't know if he was shaking to say I'm okay or no, it's there again.
That looks like it's I'm okay.
Yep.
It's always pause for concern when he does something.
Get a little grab, whether it's, a little bit longer inning than he's had any time tonight, a little dehydration. Like a lot of guys, Jorge works up a good amount of sweat when he's pitching. And Walker says, I'm not going to make it any easier on him.
And he was also involved in the rundown.
Yep. Yeah, you can see this will equal the most pitches in an inning, in part because of Walker. This is going to be the 9th pitch in this at bat. Arenado with a long throw, and he gets him. The Cardinals break through and take the lead halfway through this one at Coors Field. viewers from Laramie, Wyoming. Thanks for watching the Rockies on Root Sports, and be sure to tell us where you're watching from on Twitter at RootSports_RM using the hashtag #WhereWeRoot. And so Lucas Waka in the midst of that, the younger brother of the Cardinals pitcher tonight, Michael Waka. He's a big part of Craig Bowles' defense up in Laramie. And I'd like to thank somebody on Twitter who told me it's called the Blitz Ball, the new wiffle
Blitz ball. Okay.
And just looking at some of the video online, forget the 12-6 curveball. How about the Tuesday to Wednesday curveball?
So it literally starts behind you.
Yeah, it starts the next day and comes back.
Comes back. Almost like a boomerang.
Wow. I mean, I thought, I don't know how you'd figure out you could throw it like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, De La Rosa, that's a good sign in the on deck circle, and no activity in the Rockies bullpen. Maybe just a quick twitch or cramp. Brandon Barnes, who grounded out to short his first time up, trying to deal with Michael Waka, who has been dealing. He's given up 4 singles and has struck out 6. That looked like the blitz ball, didn't it? Curveball that dropped right down to the bottom of the zone. Strike 3 call.
Caught him guessing.
Rockies, like the rest of Major League Baseball, in the midst of the amateur draft. Here were the Rockies picks from the first round, or the first day yesterday. Brendan Rodgers and Mike Dickerick really got a lot of positive endorsements from around baseball.
I really like both of these guys. Of course, Rodgers, 6 foot, 190 pounds, shortstop, one of the top rated guys out of the draft. Dickerick, the big, tall right-hander. And then day 2 was today, rounds 3 through 10.
And right there at the bottom, a local product, Cole Anderson, a center fielder out of Rocky Mountain High School up in the Fort Collins area.
Well, they went to the first 5 picks were high school guys, and they switched over to the college guys for the next 6. Back to the high school for Cole Anderson.
Yeah, a lot of pitchers, all but one of those 6 college picks working from the mound. 2 outs here in the Rockies' 5th. Charlie Blackmon held in check so far by Waka. Charlie coming into the game, very good numbers against St. Louis. Just 20 for 53 coming in, so even a 20 for 55, it's still pretty good.
Charlie had a dry spell for 10 to 12, 14 days.
This will be a hit for Blackmon. And the Rockies will extend Waka at least one more batter. And you're right, Jeff.
But since then, he's found that swing again. It's getting more of a level swing. During that bad spell, he was swinging uphill. His back shoulder was dipping too much. And now he's throwing out the line drives again.
DJ LeMahieu has 2 of the Rockies' 5 singles off Waka. They've both been to right field. Cardinals cracking through in the top of the inning. Rockies trying to respond.
Pretty tough running combination with Waka. He's got quick feet. Make your quick snap throw to first, and of course behind the plate on the opposite side is Yadier Molina. Molina going out 40% of would-be base stealers, but only 20 guys have attempted, so he's 8 for 20.
Charlie got the one last night without a throw. He's trying to get out there like the Rockies are. They'd love to, even with this combination, Jeff, you almost have to.
Well, Charlie's 13th in the National League in stolen, or 5th, excuse me, with 13 stolen bases. Billy Hamilton has 25, the leader. But yeah, you have to get out there every time and act like you're going to run, even if you're not.
Walker maybe a little quicker to the plate there, didn't quite finish that fastball delivery. Here's the list that Jeff was referencing. Charlie's been caught 4 times. Like DJ there, one, the fastball was up, but I think also maybe he was thinking about giving Charlie a pitch.
And that's what he did last night on a 1-0 count. He let Charlie take off, took the fastball, but that was more of a steal on John Lackey than it was on Yadier Molina.
Boy, this guy is an artist, isn't he? He got the benefit of a borderline call there from Tim Timmons.
And you get those when you're around the plate every pitch. I'd take a chance if I'm Charlie, thinking he might throw a slider. That's why Walker threw over. I love these games between whoever's calling. I think that Mike Matheny is calling the pitches because he's a former catcher. Whether it's going to be a throw over, what's going on. Yep, you see him in the background now in the foreground of Yadier Molina.
2-2. The wonderful little nuances. That's what I enjoy the most about the game.
Now Charlie has seen 4 pitches. He's gauged when that foot comes up, how quick he is to home. I always thought it was key for a base stealer. You see Yadi go out to the mound, but it was always a key for a base stealer to get his lead early. Don't be fighting to get out to that distance. You set the tone. Don't let the pitcher dictate what's happening.
As opposed to maybe kind of walking into something.
The only problem with that, if you walk into it and he makes a quick throw over, you're not in an athletic position to move back towards the bag. I think that works better for guys that aren't known to steal bases. Kind of a sneak attack.
Yep. This has some carry. Bridget going back in the corner will make the grab. Didn't look all that comfortable, but he makes the play. The Cardinals lead after 5.
1 year ago today that he made his major league debut against the Atlanta Braves on a Monday night here at Coors Field. Let's show you his 2 first strikeouts in the big leagues. They were the Upton brothers. First he got BJ, that was his name of course last year, and then he got Justin Upton to end the first inning. So the first 2 Ks for Bergman, the 2 Uptons. Now they're back together again with San Diego, and BJ's now Melvin, and he got activated this week, and they're playing the Braves. So I kind of brought that all together. But I wanted to say to Jack and Jeff about what Walt Weiss said today about Christian Bergman. Said that he's a valuable part of the bullpen. Wants to be a starter, but he can give them length. You know, with the problems De La Rosa's had, he can come in, he can throw a couple of innings. And Jeff, this may not have been a good analogy, but I said, you know, they say pinch hitters are tough to do that job. Is it tough to do the job he's doing?
Yeah, because you don't know when you're going to pitch. How much work do I get in on the day when I'm not sure if I'm going to throw? That's always the challenge for one of your long guys out in the bullpen. Because, I mean, he's almost like a fireman where you got to be ready at a moment's notice. And that's what he is. If he needs to come in because somebody got hurt in the first inning, or in the third inning he's getting shelled, he needs to come in and throw. It's so hard for those guys in those roles, but he has embraced it.
You have to have a pretty resilient arm as well from a physical standpoint. He went too far, said Tim Timmons, and launched down 2 strikes. The 2-2. Nolan, will they have time to get there? No, it wouldn't have made any difference. Yeah, watch the wall. With every challenged call, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Turned out to be a delightful night after the rain that delayed the start by a little more than an hour. Blackman coming on and gets there. Big enough swing, you can't start too soon, but Charlie covered the ground.
Closing speed. That's what Charlie had on this ball. Big swing. Your natural reaction is to think it's going to be hit harder. You're going to go back. Charlie wasn't sure, but then he comes in, looks the ball in the glove on the Subaru Supermo slide. That's the easiest way to stop when you're going that hard and your momentum's carrying you towards the ground.
Matt Carpenter has struck out twice against De La Rosa. Talk about Waka 14 out of 20 first pitch strikes. De La Rosa is 12 out of 20. So both pitchers for the most part doing the job intended. Work ahead.
Pitch counts aren't a factor.
79 for De La Rosa at the moment.
And their spot in the road there in the lineup is not a factor. So it's going to come down to the 7th inning.
Arenado was up. Now he backs up, and a good off-speed pitch again. If you're just joining us, earlier tonight, Chris Heston of the San Francisco Giants tossed a no-hitter. The Giants beat the Mets 5-0. He allowed 3 base runners. He hit 3 batters. Struck out 11. The last 10 no-hitters in baseball have been thrown by National League pitchers. 1-2, got him again. Matt Carpenter punched out for the 3rd straight time by De La Rosa.
He's not seeing the split finger because of how Jorge is throwing it. The hesitation starts out at mid-thigh, ends up down by the ankles.
Well, the Rockies usually are besieged by Matt Carpenter. They're catching him in a little bit of a down cycle and taking advantage of it. Just the third time this year, Doug Marino tells us, that he has struck out 3 times in one game.
He just took over the team lead in strikeouts. Those 3 punch outs.
1-1 on Peralta. The pause, and this time he doesn't get the call. 2-1. How did you deal with a pitcher like De La Rosa? Takes that sort of exaggerated pause at the top of his windup.
I would wait until start my movement once I saw the pause. I would make sure I didn't do it too early.
Oh, this is hit a long way, and that is off the facing of the second deck. Johnny Peralta with his 10th home run of the year. And on a night when runs are at a premium, that's a huge one.
This home run looked like it was from a left-handed pull hitter. That's how far and how hard he hit it. It was off the facade of the upper deck. It's a flat slider, catches it on the sweet spot of the bat.
He leads the Cardinals in homers and RBIs. De La Rosa has been stingy with the home runs. That's just the 4th he's allowed this year, covering 40 innings.
2 by the lefties, 2 by the righties.
Too low, gets it over to first. That will end the inning, but the Cardinals, with a big home run from Johnny Peralta, lead by 2. By the Courtyard by Marriott, Western elegance in the cultural heart of the city, and by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Well, a challenge for the Rockies now with the way Michael Wacha has pitched. They're down 2 runs. They'll have the big boys here in Tulowitzki, Gonzalez, and Arenado. You talk to the Cardinals people, you just caught a glance again at Johnny Peralta, and young man came over from the Tigers as a free agent after being with Cleveland, and he embraced the Cardinal culture, if you will, and has been a key ingredient for them.
I'm not sure they thought they were going to get this much out of Peralta. They needed an upgrade at shortstop, and they were hoping that he could give them maybe half to 3/4 of what he's done.
Yeah, they were using people like Brendan Ryan and others that not getting much offense. He's average defensively, although he's played well with the glove this year, but he does bring the pop. Tulo didn't like that call from Tim Timmons. But again, as Jeff pointed out earlier, when you're around the plate all night, you get those borderline calls.
Umpires are human. They get into that rhythm like a team does.
Thought they'd go out a little wider. Remember somebody telling me Catfish Hunter, once he got a strike, he kind of just keep moving it out a couple of inches until he couldn't get one. Then he said, okay, that's far enough.
Maddox,
yeah.
The great ones do that because they have that control.
He went out there again, this time didn't get the call. All 4 pitches have been away to Troy.
Troy took a pitch that was away from him in his first at bat and hit it to right field.
Now they went back inside, and that one got a piece of somebody, either Molina or Timmons or both of them. LaRosa putting a bandage on. But it was his right hand. It's his right hand anyway. That's interesting. He jams Troy, and Reynolds will grab it.
Rockies dugout stores are the place for all things Rockies, with the best selection of Rockies merchandise and tickets, plus exclusive new Peanuts bobblehead of the month. Get your gear on at the Rockies dugout stores.
Cargo been on a good run. He's hitting 10 of his last 11, hitting over 400 on the homestand coming in, but Walk has had his number tonight, a couple of strikeouts. Molina gets time behind the plate. But there, 4 pitches in a row and then 2 on the inside. The second one gets Troy.
What do you think Troy was doing? He's thinking, oh, they're going to keep pitching me away. He busts him in, you get that pop up.
Two 2-0. Good job that time by Carlos to lay off that high fastball. Of course, up and in is not a hot spot for Carlos as a rule.
Reading a story today about Leo Mazzoni, former longtime pitching coach in the major leagues. Of course, everybody I think remembers him rocking back and forth in the dugout with the Atlanta Braves. And his big thing was you have to learn, you have to throw more to learn how to hit your spots.
And even with the modified shift, Cargo beats it. Rockies get another single. They've out-hit the Cardinals 6-3. That extends the on-base streak for the Rockies right fielder to 20 straight games now.
It was a modified shift. We've seen teams put 3 guys on the right side and move that third baseman to that shortstop position, but that's where Carlos hit the ball, said, I'll beat the shift anyway. Stayed inside that baseball nicely.
Arenado has one of the 6 singles, did that in the 4th inning. He takes a fastball for a strike to start this at bat. Well, look at it in the Ford strike zone box. I mean, that's painting. Knee high, inside edge.
The old line, he's like a Rembrandt.
Yep. He could be doing that with a roller. And this is hit. Is it enough? Yes, it is. Touch of all time for Nolan Arenado. Number 15. It's a brand new game at 20th and Blake.
How clutch has Nolan been all year long? RBI number 46 and 47, and one of the rare misses by Walker tonight. and Nolan made him pay. He knew it too. He knew when he hit it that it was gone.
So down 2-0, the Rockies answer back. You see Nolan, quite a power surge by a lot of third basemen around the game, and that's really kind of getting back. I mean, for a lot of years that was a power spot and it was going away, and it's coming back.
A lot of good ones, but now Nolan with those 47 RBIs. He came into the day just 4 behind Stanton for the RBI lead in the National League, and now he's closed that gap.
Ben Paulson with the second strikeout. Here's the homer again.
And the beauty of this is where the pitch is. I just look at this. All that traveling down the length of the bat, the head, the extension afterward, the hip turn. That was a classic power swing against the power fastball.
Michael Wacha does not serve up many home runs. We told you that. Just 6 on the year now.
Just a second by a right-handed hitter.
Pitching with a little bit of anger. He struck out Paulson and gets 2 quick strikes on McHenry. But it's a new game. Jeff said the 7th inning might be key. We're going to get to that 7th inning at no worse than a tie. Wacha at 93 pitches right now.
Yeah, the reason I said it was 7 because both pitcher spot were due up if things worked out in the 7th inning. So how would managers play that inning? And it's still going to come down to that because worse is going to be tied 2-2. Well, what a shot from Nolan. The deepest part of the ballpark in that corner out in left center field, high in the air.
Back-to-back days with long balls for Nolan. And McHenry is strikeout victim number 9 for Michael Wacha. But Nolan Arenado with number 15, his 5th here at Coors Field. It brought the Rockies crowd alive. We're tied at 2. By T-Mobile, and it came just a few moments ago. Nolan Arenado with number 15 to wipe out a 2-0 Cardinal lead. Carlos Gonzalez had singled ahead of him, and we've got a new game here in the 7th. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters scheduled against De La Rosa. Georgie with 87 pitches so far on the night. Molina has struck out and grounded to third. Pretty impressive for both these guys tonight. It was what we expected. 1 ball and 1 strike on Molina.
It is. I mean, you look at matchups, you look at records, guys, you know, how they pitched out on the road, how they pitched at home. All of it led to you going, tonight is going to be one of those duels at 20th and Blake. Jorge pitches well at home. Watkins pitching well out on the road.
Yeah, and Georgie knows here. I mean, he's scheduled to hit second in the bottom of the inning, so you go out there and get that 0.
Empty the tank.
Yep. Two and 2 now on Molina. The smallest of the 3 brothers, but the largest in results.
Yeah, I said it last night. I played with the other 2 Molinas, but I think for Yachty, he has that complete package. The other guys were very good receivers. Yachty, he's the one.
Not happy with striking out for the 2nd time on the De La Rosa changeup.
A little bit more on the Major League draft, at least through the 10 rounds. How about some Colorado kids? Ryan Burr out of Arizona State, but went to Highlands Ranch High School. Nick Shumpert, Terry Shumpert's boy. Rick Pickett, an outfielder from Legend High School. You have Brett Helton, Utah. Well, he went to Cheyenne Mountain High School, the son of the punter, Barry Helton. And then we talked about Cole Anderson from Rocky Mountain High School, outfielder. Be a few more Colorado kids taken tomorrow, the rounds 11 through 40, finish up the draft, day 3.
1 and 1 on Grichuk. The interesting thing, Doug, Marino came up with the number, like 30-odd thousand guys drafted over the last 25 years or so. 33,405 picks from 1987 through 2008. What do you think the percentage of those 33,000 plus made it to the big leagues?
7-8%.
Well, actually a little higher than that. That's pretty good. 9.8. Now that can mean a guy who gets the proverbial cup of coffee, but
still made it.
Yeah, it shows you the challenge that is baseball. Great grab down there in the
without a glove.
corner. Yeah. Got him.
And I have to give this strikeout to Michael McHenry. Why? Because he flashed the split finger. Jorge looked at him. He flashed it again. This is the pitch that he wanted, and that's what he got for the strikeout. So here it is. Watch this. I want it. Okay, come on. Give it. Throw that pitch and make sure it's down.
7 strikeouts on the night for De La Rosa. Here's John Jay. He scored the first Cardinal run. Cardinals got a run in the 5th on a base hit. Jay hit into a fielder's choice, but got to second base as Grichuk stayed in a rundown. And then Borges knocked in Jay. Gio did get it. I was going to say just outside, and Tim Timmons said no, that is strike 2. Johnny Peralta hit a home run in the top of the 7th for St. Louis, but then Nolan Arenado with a 1-out 2-run homer in the bottom to knot this thing up. I said the 7th inning, the 6th inning, in the 7th now. The infield flinched, but a little low.
Well, that's you know, guys are in the game when they flinch. They're anticipating the swing. They're anticipating moving.
Or anticipating
Yeah,
the call. Yeah.
Going back to the dugout with strike 3.
And he got it. If that's the end of the night for De La Rosa, a sterling effort. Strikes out the side here in the 7th. We're tied at 2 in a dandy. What a great ball game tonight. The Cardinals with the best record in baseball with one of their best pitchers, and the Rockies have stood toe-to-toe as we go into the bottom of the 7th. Brandon Barnes against Michael Wacha. De La Rosa done for the night, and Jorge with an outstanding job, finished by striking out the side on a check swing. Tim Timmons said it ticked the bat. The Rockies have Rafael Ynoa out on deck.
Wonderful performance from De La. Give up that home run, 2 runs, you get your teammates to get you back into the game, tied up 2-2, and he was money that last inning. Ended up with 8 strikeouts on the day.
Like you said, Jeff, go out there and empty the tank.
And that's exactly what he did.
And the second time that Barnes has gone down on strikes. Log on to CFD Rodeo /Alabama for your chance to win tickets to see Alabama in concert Thursday, July 23rd at Cheyenne Frontier Days, summer's largest country music festival. There's Mr. Cheyenne himself, Tracy Ringlesby. So rather than Ynoa, had Barnes got aboard, they would have used Ynoa, but now maybe looking for a big fly, it'll be Willeen Rosario pinch hitting. With Kyle Parker now on the club, it gives you an extra right-handed weapon.
You don't feel short-handed as you're looking down your lineup card, say, well, who am I going to use?
And Willeen promptly singles to left field.
Make that 5 for 10 pinch hitting for Willeen on the season.
And I haven't asked him yet. Second straight pinch hit we've seen from Willeen. I think now, as opposed to kind of the standard thought process for pinch hitters, I think he's going up there looking breaking ball because that's what teams are going to throw him.
And that's smart on his part if he is, because he is going to get more sliders than he is going to be fastballs.
Hit number 8 for the Rockies. They've out-hit the Cardinals 8-3. Activity in both bullpens now.
For the Rockies, Boone Logan. Joining him is Scott Ober.
I think it's a lefty-righty combo on the Cardinals side too. We'll check on that. Probably Randy Choate.
Randy Choate from the left side.
That ball nearly hit Charlie Blackmon.
And Seth Manis on the right side.
De La Rosa threw 101 pitches officially. Walker's at 102. Charlie hits it hard, but Grichuk's going to get there. Blackmon the second out in the Rockies 7th. Rockies will be challenged again tomorrow with Carlos Martinez, another terrific young pitcher for St. Louis. The Rockies will counter with their own hot young pitcher in Chad Bettis. So we could have much more the same tomorrow, Jeff.
Well, I mean, for the St. Louis Cardinals, they lead, their pitching staff leads the major leagues with 2.69 ERA.
DJ drives it to left center field. Bull on the run. He is going to score. Mr. Clutch, DJ LeMahieu gives the Rockies the lead.
We just say hashtag vote DJ right now, because that's what he should be. He should be an all-star.
Another 3-hit night, 6 hits in the series, hitting .444 coming into the game with men in scoring position. Better than that with 2 outs in the inning.
Playing him in the opposite gap, which every team does, but you leave a ball inside, he will turn on it, and that's what he does. With 2 outs, Mullins not stop. He's just saying, I'm going to put my head down and make sure you wave me home, Stu.
So the clutch pitch hit by Wallin pays off as he motors all the way around from first. Buying some time for the bullpen and checking on Waka because you've got Tulo at the plate. That's a big insurance run out there in scoring position.
Yeah, and if you're not mentally geared toward making this pitch, and you have Tulo, you can put 2 more runs on the board.
Right, as hot as he's been going.
No, they're going to put him on.
Yeah, they're going to either have Waka pitch to Cargo or more likely bring Randy Choate in.
I think they're going to go to Choate, go left on left. You see managers will do this when they intentionally walk somebody. You don't have the reliever do it. You have the guy that's still in the game.
So Cargo got the rally going last inning with a base hit. Will have a chance to expand a lead, but it'll be against Randy Choate as Mike Matheny comes out of the third base dugout. Michael Walker terrific tonight, but the Rockies answered him here in the late innings. What a ball game this has been. I always have fun with you, but this has been a dandy.
It's been a pitcher's duel at times and then clutch hitting at other times.
We'll take a quick step away. Rockies have taken the lead. #1 volume Lexus dealer, and what a night, Jeff, for Jorge De La Rosa.
Came out tonight, established what he wanted to do, but how about Nolan? Big-time 2-run home run in the bottom of the 6th. And then for good measure, DJ LeMahieu says, I got your 2 runs, but this is the important one to go up 3-2.
DJ with a double for the 2nd straight night, now has 7 two-baggers on the year as Randy Choate comes on, the veteran left-hander facing Cargo.
Cargo 0 for 2 in his career against Randy.
And takes strike 1.
And this is a definition of a guy that's a left-handed specialist. 26 games, but only 11 innings.
Yeah, how about that? Does he take a shower after the game?
The bigger question, does he ice?
This will be a fair ball. DJ will score. 4-2 Rockies. Cargo delivers with 2 outs. His 2nd hit of the night.
Just love the approach from Cargo. You know the left-hander is going to drop down, try to get you to flinch, open the right shoulder. But Cargo stays inside, gets jammed. This ball is off the label. But he got jammed. He let the ball travel to him. There's just as many hits the opposite way as there are on the pull side.
Another pitching change for the Cardinals. The Rockies with a 2-run lead here in the 7th. The day after every Rockies win, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. New pitcher for the Cardinals, it's Seth Manis.
And a different guy than we saw in Waka. Waka, a hard thrower. Manis is not. High 80s. Maybe touched 90.
Nolan Arenado with the big 2-run homer off of Waka last inning. Rockies have put another crooked number up there to take the 4-2 lead. One more look at the game changer.
And why not? Because it's a lot of fun to watch. This ball's going over the wall. High fives before you even get to first base.
Nearly caught his back leg.
Manis led the team, the Cardinals, last year with 73 appearances.
Look at that tweet. I love that. This will find the chairs. So So both Ober and Logan are ready in the pen. And with the depth of last night's game by David Hale and tonight by De La Rosa, plenty of options to get those last 6 outs for Walt Weiss.
Yeah, and you could probably go Ober for a couple and then Logan with the 2 left-handers.
And Manis strikes out Arenado. But the Rockies come through. DJ LeMahieu with an RBI double. Carlo with a single as well. Is Jorge De La Rosa. And why not the Rockies veteran left-hander at his Coors Field best this evening.
Jorge, 8 strikeouts.
And he dominated some good hitters.
Well, and he punched out the side in the 7th. All 3 swinging.
And now it'll be up to the bullpen to get De La Rosa his 3rd win of the year. It'll start with Boone Logan.
And some breathing room for Boone with the extra run that was added last inning, 4-2. Boone wants to put that last appearance out of his mind, the one he gave up the home run to Echeverria in the 10th inning. But as a reliever, you have to have a short memory because you're going to be back out on the hill again.
And Borges drives the first pitch out of here. Peter Borges with just his 2nd home run of the year. It's 4-3 Rockies. He said it was a slider that had nothing to Echeverria.
This looks like a slider to Borges. Pretty deep home run to center field, 7 rows back.
Yeah, the home run by Echeverria went to center field. Now Tony Cruz pinch hitting for Seth Manis. Saw Cruz a little bit at 3rd base last night with the Rockies up big. And Logan misses the first 2 here.
Cruz 2 for 12 pinch hitting.
Ball 3. Had the elbow issues a year ago. Says he's feeling better this year. Of late, the results have been not what the Rockies need from the veteran. 3-1.
Still has the zip on the fastball. It's been the location of the sliders that's hurt him.
And maybe the lack of bite to them?
Yes, no depth.
Strike two as Cruz got ready to depart. Payoff pitch, not close. Well, Walt Weiss's situation with Rafael Betancourt and LaTroy Hawkins on the DL, to get to John Axford, he's got kids and Boone Logan.
That's why he went to Boone here in the 8th inning. He's been here before, but just not pitching like he is capable of doing. All fans through the gates on Friday, June 19th, will receive a 2015 Rockies team poster as well as a Topps mini pack of baseball cards, courtesy of Topps.
Steve Foster trying to get his veteran lefty back on track. But as you said, Jeff, I mean, after the bad taste from Sunday, wants to establish himself tonight, and on the very first pitch he throws, he serves up another home run.
And I don't care how mentally tough you are, that's pretty tough to stomach.
Now the top of the order, the lefties Wong and Carpenter. Arenado comes up at third, and Logan gets a first pitch strike in there. Strikeout, a ground out, and a fly ball to center field by Wong against De La Rosa. Now down 2 strikes to another lefty. You know, we talked about the Cardinals' comeback power. They've won 16 games in comeback fashion, and talking with Matt Belisle in their clubhouse today, he says it's because everybody expects to come back, and it doesn't matter who gets the chance. You create that kind of culture.
Yeah, well, I mean, for as long as the Cardinals have been in history, 124 season of Cardinals baseball, those 16 come from behind wins are most in the National League. Only the Astros have more with 17.
Line just fine. Oh,
yeah,
everybody's heart stopped for a moment.
Paulson comes off the bag, 3 steps.
Tell you what, for not a real big guy,
this generates,
and he loves to pull, doesn't he?
He does. Well, he starts with the open stance, so he's looking, and he'll do it more with the left-hander out there that helps both eyes to get on the pitcher better, but he's looking to turn and burn.
And he gets hit by the pitch on a 2-strike count. Still nobody out in the inning.
It's not a good inning for Boone. With the home run, then you walk, and a hit by pitch. And you had the left-handers. 2 out of the 4 guys you face are going to be left-handed.
Well, let me pick your brain here. If you're Mike Matheny, you've got one of your better hitters, Matt Carpenter, who's not going well right now. He has struck out 3 times tonight. And is 1 for 15 on the trip. Do you bung him?
Yes, I do.
Rockies certainly anticipate that.
Because you're only down by 1 run.
Right.
That's why the Rockies got together to figure out how they were going to play this and if anybody was going to charge.
Well, he swings away, at least for the first pitch. That slider with better depth to it.
Nolan's still playing and honoring the bunt. You see how he's turned with his half of his body is kind of facing towards second base so he can read that base runner out of the corner of his eye. But if Mike doesn't want to bunt and he's going to leave it up to Carpenter, I'll take that. Left on left matchup. Has not looked good in his first 3 at bats. First 2 swings haven't been good. If he does put it on the play on the ground, double play candidate.
Logan got ahead of Wong and then hit him, trying to get this left-handed hitter. Got him. 4 times up, 4 times back to the dugout with a strikeout tonight for Matt Carpenter.
And a big strikeout for Boone. He needed this. He needed the confidence to come back and throw a slider where he wanted to get Carpenter, one of the toughest guys with runners in scoring position in all of baseball.
Rockies will make another pitching change. 2 on, 1 out, a 1-run game. We'll be back to Coors Field in a moment. Late great Stan the Man Musial, one of the best gentlemen and best hitters to ever play the game. Johnny Peralta trying to keep the Musial legend going, and young Scott Oberg steps into a very interesting situation.
Well, you got to grow up fast sometimes in the big leagues, and Scott has had to this year. His ERA 3.92, 23rd game of the season. Mr. Oberg.
He gets Johnny Peralta, who homered deep to right field his last time up. Potential tying run at second, potential go-ahead run at first. Good breaking ball.
Yeah, and a smart breaking pitch, because back in the 6th inning, this is what Peralta did to right center field, the back edge of that bullpen. There's 10th home run of the season.
Most by a major league shortstop so far this year. That put the Cardinals up 2-0, but the Rockies came back with 2 of their own in the 6th on an Arenado home run and 2 more in the 7th. But Peter Borges with a home run in the 8th here off Boone Logan. Then a walk and a hit batsman. Logan struck out Carpenter. Now Oberg facing Peralta. Fans wanted a strike, but it was inside.
It looked like he was close to swinging. That's why they checked to first base and Todd Tishner. But he didn't. He held up.
Checked his swing there, and this time they ring him up 2-2.
This is the best angle that you see, and it's almost the same angle that the first base umpire will glance, and he did go on that one.
Big pitch. Doesn't want to go to 3-2. Got it! Came back with the slider. 2 outs.
And it's a power slider. Puts the fingers together and really pulls down at the end. You see how much? Now that's a bite on a slider.
That's a bite on the bat. Mark Reynolds, 2 walks and a ground out. And inside with the fastball. Rockies will have Paulson, McHenry, and Barnes. They had Matt Belisle up before in the Cardinal pen.
He's still up, ready to go.
2-0 again, trying to get that inside edge. The fastball, just too much run.
From Mark Reynolds, he has one swing path and one swing path only. He doesn't make adjustments well on balls that are down or down and away from him.
But he's been the patient man tonight. Walked twice against De La Rosa. And now sitting very nicely 3-0 here with a very good clutch hitter throughout his career. Yadier Molina looming in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, but do you give him the green light if you're Mike Matheny? I think he might have it.
He took it and took a strike.
He thought it was inside. And he might have been right.
Cruz, a catcher by trade, but with 2 outs is going to go on contact. And he'll just jog to third base as Reynolds walks for the 3rd time in the game. He came in with a dozen walks in 140 plus plate appearances this year and walks 3 times tonight. Steve Foster going to the mound. Now you got Molina.
Well, 2 out of the 3 guys that reached were via the walk. The other guy was a hit by pitch.
Yeah, there's only been 1 hit in the inning, the home run.
And now you start playing the probabilities and what happens with the bases loaded and run expectancy. With 2 outs, bases loaded, about a third of the time, a team will score 1 run. That's what the scoring is, just 1 run.
But with Wong out there at second base, you have excellent speed. And Molina this year hitting .318 with 2 outs and runners in scoring position.
The Cardinals as a club, 0-59 with 2 outs and bases loaded.
And Molina nearly 50 points better in the clutch with 2 outs. So that's where you knew the challenge was going to be. Again, the kid.
All those numbers, it comes down to the pitcher and the hitter. Do you make a better pitch?
Fly ball center field, but Charlie's got room. And the Cardinal fans groan as the Rockies fans come to their feet. Quite a job by Scott Ober. He preserves the lead here in the 8th. Rockies looking to add on. To 3, and who wants tacos? Well, fans, follow at @rootsports_RM on Twitter. That way you can receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs in a game. Rockies will face an old friend, and boy, what a job by Scott Oberg. Walt Weiss said in spring training, there's just something I like about this kid's moxie. I mean, he's got physical tools, Jeff, no question, but they like the toughness.
Well, you have to have moxie if you want to be a baseball reliever, because you're coming into situations that aren't too friendly, and that one wasn't. Ends up walking the bases loaded with that walk, but then gets the fly ball out to get out of it.
And as I said, old friend Matt Belisle coming on for the 24th time. Good numbers this year for Matty.
Ryan, he's back to kind of a one-inning guy. So you see the velocity back up above 90 to 92. 5 years, 5+ years, he had over 65 appearances each and every year.
He appeared in 392 games as a Rocky and loved his time here. Talking to Matt today, he said it was just as good as it could be for him, even with the struggles last year. Said didn't diminish his love for Denver and the Rockies organization. 2-2 to Ben Paulson. McHenry and Barnes will follow. John Axford begins his work in the Rockies pen. Grichuk, Jay, and Borges as scheduled hitters, and a few guys still left on the bench. Full count now on Paulson, like Jason Hayward.
Yeah, I was just looking at that left-handed power and Hayward. The two guys more of a singles guys, not the big power. You can find it, Jason. Last night, Ben Paulson. It's the 61st time a Rockies had finished a home run short of the cycle.
That's a great number.
Courtesy of Doug Marino, of course. First time this year.
Paulson hanging tough after striking out 3 times against Waka.
I didn't look at all that up.
No.
Doug did the research.
And ball 4. Good at bat by Ben Paulson. And the Rockies looking for some insurance. Start this bottom of the 8th the way they want to.
I want to host a party on the rooftop. Ask about our Tuaca Terrace deck pregame picnic area. Tuaca Terrace loft or shadecode.bana party areas. Call today.
Michael McHenry now. Michael hitless on the night with a couple of punch outs. Carpenter's at the edge of the grass at third. Didn't show anything and took ball 1.
Now you have options. You can hit and run. You can bunt them. You can run and hit. There's so many more things you can do when you're up by 1. You want to play for that extra run.
And Belisle fighting the command, falls behind 2-0.
Well, Michael says, well, maybe I'm not going to bunt, but I'm ahead in the count 2-0. I'm going to look to hit one in the seats.
Yeah, you can look in one spot and try and hit it a long way. You might not have to. 3-0. Cardinals have their other lefty, Kevin Segrist, up in the pen. Got the outside edge. Again, Stu Cole with the signs. See Mac looking down there. 33,731 tonight. They've seen a wonderful ball game.
A lot of stuck around even after the hour and 7-minute rain delay before we threw first pitch.
You know, the Cardinals, like the Cubs, the Braves, the teams that have a national following, if you will, and are always, well, why wouldn't you want to come to this great town, this wonderful ballpark? Just adds to the atmosphere. Got him with the curveball, and McHenry knew it, and they get Paulson at first base too. That's Yadier Molina. Ben Paulson going to stay there until they look at it to see if it should be reviewed.
And they are going to review it. But we'll see the pitch first. Slider from Matt Belisle. Yadier kind of lulls Ben into sleep. You see how he holds it, and then a snap throw using McHenry as a shield. So watch. McHenry starts to go. Ben doesn't get back.
Oh, they're going to overturn that one. At least it looked
well,
that way.
I don't know, because if you look at Mark Reynolds' foot, he puts it in front of the bag. And then when the hand goes back, it looks like it maybe lands on top of his foot.
Time for a Subaru review. Whether you're on the road or at the game, everybody could use a second set of eyes as they look at this one, and there aren't many angles that we can show you, and I think it's, as Jeff said, there's no question he got back ahead of the throw. The question is, was he touching Reynolds' foot or the bag?
First base umpire Todd Tishner is about 3 feet away from first base.
And unfortunately, just the shots we have, there aren't many of them, and this is the kind of one where they're going to perhaps let it stand because there's not convincing evidence to overturn it.
Well, and Ben got out too far. He got into no man's land. No, I didn't know whether it was a strike or a ball, but you can't wander away from first base with Yadier Molina.
Yeah, and looking there, his hand's not on the bag.
I don't think it's on the bag.
Nope.
And Reynolds put his foot by the bag. You see how Benz is standing, more standing straight up. He's not ready to move like you need to be.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely back towards the bag ahead of time, but he's going to be called out, and it's the correct call. I don't think he touched the bag in time. That's what Yadier Molina does.
Quickly changes the complexion of this inning.
Sure does. And a lesson learned for a young player. Brandon Barnes 0 for 3 tonight. But for all of this, the Rockies still have the lead, and they'll have their closer on in the 9th.
And you're working at the bottom part of the Cardinals lineup.
Yeah, that was the one good thing of the bases loaded. You ran through a couple of good hitters. Yeah, right there you can see the hand is not anywhere on the bag. It's on the shoe of Mark Reynolds. Good play by Reynolds.
And you could do that at first base. You could put your foot in front of the bag, because 99 out of 100 times guys are going to come back. At least if they're going to dive back to the bag, it's going to be with their hand and not their foot.
Two and two on Barnes. If Brandon keeps the inning going, yet Rafael Ynoa's on deck. Full count. Yeah, you got a 3-2. You get a leadoff walk, then a 3-2 count on McHenry, and a breaking ball catches him looking. The pickoff changes it. Barnes works the count to 3-2. Each one of these three hitters. Brandon looking for his first home run since the call up. It goes down on strikes. And we will go to the 9th with the Rockies hanging on to a 1-run lead. And by 5-Hour Energy shots. Have you tried great tasting 5-Hour Energy lately? Rockies with a 4-3 lead as we move into the 9th inning. What's coming up on the Toyota post-game show. Well, let's check in with Jenny, Jason, and Corey.
All right, Jack, thanks so much. Coming up on the Toyota post-game show, talking about aces in the cards. How about the pitching duel we saw here tonight at Coors Field? That is until Michael Wacha had one pitch to Nolan Arenado.
Hit me! The Rockies get the king of diamonds, Nolan Arenado, flashing the leather, bringing out the boomstick with a huge 2-run home run in the sixth.
Joker's wild.
That's right.
And that Joker is DJ LeMahieu. 3 hits and the go-ahead RBI on a double.
Hashtag vote DJ. That's all you need to know.
It's in 350.
This is a card game that you two would lose at, I bet. Jack, Jeff, don't play with us.
Without question.
I think you're right.
Not even going to go there.
But I'm with the vote DJ. Hashtag vote DJ. And hashtag vote Nolan. They both deserve to be at the All-Star game. Now on the hill for the Rockies, John Axford, 10 for 10. One of a group of 5 relievers that have not blown a save yet this year.
He's got 11 saves in his career against the Cardinals, making his 32nd appearance against St. Louis with that time in a Milwaukee uniform. Randall Grichuk has a single in 3 tries. Grichuk, Jay, and Borges here in the 9th. Ball 1 on Grichuk. I talk about it all the time. I hear guys in the clubhouse talk about it, that leadoff man getting retired by a closer just seems to make such a difference. But John misses with his first 2 pitches. Here's what Jeff was talking about, the guys who have been perfect so far this year.
Well, Glenn Perkins from Minnesota, 21 and 21. That's why they're doing what they're doing this year.
Oh, got him to chase. Oh, thank you indeed.
And that's a young hitter mistake. A 2-0 count. And you're too over anxious. You swing at the pitcher's pitch. Pitcher's think, whew, okay, thanks. I feel a little bit better sitting at 2-1 than 3-0.
This will slice foul. Will Cargo have room? No. Time for the Century Link to what's next, and it'll be another potential pitchers duel tomorrow. Carlos Martinez and Chad Bettis going at it. We'll get all our coverage underway at 12:30 Mountain Time. It'll be tough to top the drama in this one. The 2-2. Missed with the breaking ball. First one he's thrown in the inning and didn't finish it.
Overthrew it. Tried to do too much with that pitch. Left his arm behind, trying to play catch up.
The payoff, and Grichuk keeps it going. De La Rosa went 7, gave up 2 runs on 3 hits, finished his night by striking out the side, had 8 strikeouts. Boone Logan gave up a home run and a walk and a hit batsman. Scott Oberg came on, got the last 2 outs around a walk to keep the Rockies lead. Now John Axford. Got it. Came back with the slider. Nope, it was just a good run to a fastball.
And a very defensive swing from Randall. He saw 2 in this at bat. That tied him up. He had nowhere to go. Running fastball up and in. 13th strikeout in 17 in the 3rd innings for Axford.
Now John Jay. 0 for 3 with a run scored. And overthrew that pitch. Arenado comes up even with the bag at third. Jay with good speed, but doesn't bunt that often. He hits it towards Tulo. The long throw in time.
That's some scouting, because he was played exactly where John Jay hit that. You've seen the Rockies shift almost as much as anybody, where you put Troy on the other side, but they knew what Jay was going to do, and so they left him on the shortstop side of the bag.
That leaves it up to Peter Borges, who started making things nervous here last inning when he swung at the first pitch from Boone Logan and hit a home run to center field. He has knocked in 2 of the 3 St. Louis runs. Strike one. The Rockies last won a series against the Cardinals July of 2010 here at Coors Field, when they swept them in a 3-game set. Trying to clinch the series win here.
That would be the first series win at home for Colorado this year.
Strike 2. That was a nasty hook.
Dropping off the table and some backup to it, where it goes inside.
The pitch fouled away. Quick pitched him. Wasn't much of one.
Quick pitch me.
Yeah. Almost like
remember the Troy Hawkins. Yeah, the Troy does that. And that's why the defensive swing from Peter Borges.
Axe ready again. Through the breaking ball, and this time Borges didn't nibble.
Borges, one of the few guys that kind of choke up on the bat with 2 strikes.
Everybody making noise. 2-2. Those just were probably something you could see early.
You can see those early out of the hand, recognizing that they're not going to be a strike. Jason Hayward coming on deck. Don't get to him. Get this guy.
Full count. Went to a full count and struck out Grichuk. Got Jay on a ground out on the second pitch of the at bat. Now Borges, down 2 strikes, has run the count full. Axford fires. Fouled right next to us. In this situation, Jeff, he's got a great fastball, has the curve, but he's not really throwing it all that well for strikes. If you're a hitter here, you got to figure fastball.
You look at fastball, and when a guy has an above average fastball to boot.
Yeah, they've been all at about 96 for John. Here we go again. Another defensive swing, but he stays alive. That was a hard slider. Kind of backed up a little bit, but served its purpose. And
now you got him thinking inside. Even though it was a slider, you got him thinking in. I say paint him away with the fastball. Go right out in this area, right over there.
The 3-2. Missed with the breaking ball. And that'll get Jason Hayward to the plate.
It also put some speed on the base pass with Peter Borges.
He was caught stealing tonight. He's 4 up and 6 down, but what Jeff's referencing is on a ball hitting the gaps. This is a guy who could easily score from first base.
Plus, you have the outfielders who've moved up back into no doubles depth.
You saw the numbers, 253 on the year for Hayward. And high, ball 1.
For John, don't worry about Borges at first. He's got good speed, but don't get out of your rhythm trying to quick pitch or make a faster move, slide step to home and leave one up for Hayward.
Ball 2. Hayward 2 for 3 as a pinch hitter. The Rockies bullpen hasn't walked many people this year, but they've issued 3 walks and a hit batsman tonight. Bouncing ball. LeMahieu to Paulson. Ball game. John Axford stays perfect. The Rockies win back-to-back games for the first time on this homestand. Now have a chance at the sweep. So many heroes. Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu, Carlos Gonzalez, and of course Jorge De La Rosa. Jorge, the winning pitcher tonight, improving to 3-2 on the year. Michael Wacha takes his first loss on the road, 8-2 on the season. And John Axford with save number 11. The Rockies clinch their first series win against the Cardinals in nearly 5 years. What a night it was tonight. All right, guys, all yours.
All right, Jack, thanks so much. Coming up on the Toyota postgame show, June 9th, mark your calendars. Rockies win a series at home for the first time this season.
A heavyweight fight between Wacha and De La Rosa goes 7 rounds with De La Rosa coming out on top.
And a great brand of baseball with some really clutch hitting, especially by Nolan Arenado and DJ LeMahieu.
Interviews and more coming up.